After studying this module, you shall be able to understand the meaning and importance of ICT, analyze the impact of ICT on rural development, evaluate the pros and cons of ICT in education, analyze the impact of ICT in governance, understand the link between ICT and poverty. Let us start by understanding information and communication technology. In the growing era of liberalization, globalization and privatization, information and communication technology has taken a grip over the society. Technology has become indispensable in the current scenario. ICT is a tool which helps in achieving tasks in a speedy and an efficient way. ICT acts as a catalyst for the development process. As per Department of Social Education Literacy, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India 2012, ICT is defined as all devices, tools, content, resources, forums and services, digital and those that can be converted into or delivered through digital forms which can be deployed for realizing the goals of teaching, learning, enhancing access to and reach of resources, building of capabilities as well as management of the educational system. People all over the world has realized the benefits that ICT offers. Therefore, India being a developing country is also making a step towards planning and implementing policies that give ICT a role. India is using ICT as a tool to overcome the rampant problem of poverty existing in the country. We will discuss how ICT can be used as a to rural development and what the consequences that are attached are. Another important area to focus upon is education. We will discuss how ICT is helping in promoting and bringing innovation in the education sector. We will also analyze the role of ICT in poverty reduction, governance, rural development, education, etc. and also discuss the consequences attached to it. The scope and applicability of ICT is widespread. Technology has become a part of parcel of everyone's life. It has made world a global village. Technological advances has brought with it a lot of changes in the employment structure, standard of living, educational and literacy levels. But like everything else, technology also comes at a cost. Cost that it poses on the illiterate people, warfare and impact on the environment. ICT along with it brings a lot of challenges apart from the opportunities. A major section of the country's population is still devoid of the technological process that is taking place. ICT impacts social, political, cultural and economic activities of a nation. It has to be ensured that the benefits of ICT outweigh the cost involved, only then it will prove fruitful for the nation. Let us now move over to discuss the importance of ICT. Examine the impact of ICT on market and society at large. Look at certain issues associated with ICT applications on different sections of the society. In a developing country like India, where more than 72% of the employment comes from the rural sector and where still primary sector is the major provider of employment to the people, the development in the Indian scenario is associated predominantly with the development and upliftment of the rural sector. Government of India is trying to come up with ways and measure to increase the economic and social status of the rural areas. To attain all-round development of the economy, efforts are being made to extend ICT to the rural segment of the population as well. Only then development would be attained in its true sense. There are many ways in which ICT can facilitate rural development. One of the ways in which ICT can be of help to the rural sector is that it will be lead to good governance. With the help of technology, there would be better governance, as there would be speedy trials, reduced processing cost, reduced chances of corrupt practices, higher accountability, and effective and efficient functioning. Lot of states has established SWAN, state wide area networks, which would facilitate electronic access to the rural population. Rural ICT aims to deliver the services of the government in a speedy and a cost effective way at the doorsteps of the rural population. These services are delivered using improved and affordable connectivity. The sole aim of these technologies are to provide easy and timely access of services to the population. Efforts are being made to make reach of computers to the local population. There are also efforts to introduce regional languages in the computer system as well. Since internet is a powerful tool, it therefore becomes vital to give people easy and fast access to the internal connection. Everything comes with a cost, and so does ICT for the rural sector. Although it provides good employment opportunities, good e governance, but it also brings with it increased vulnerability, higher inequality, risk, and social instability. It is a huge challenge for the government to equip the rural population with ICT when a vast section of the population is illiterate. Growth through ICT is attainable only if they are tailored according to the needs and requirements of the local population. People from the grassroots levels should be included while formulating and implementing policies in ICT, as they know the exact requirements of the people. This approach will promote employment opportunities and ensure participation of rural population in the development process. One major reason why rural areas has not benefited much from ICT is that the employment in this sector mostly require skilled English speaking workers, and rural areas having little access to education are left behind. In fact, a lot of the workers lose put on their jobs because of growing computerization. Although the Global Information Report 2013 states that 1,117,753 jobs have been generated by digitization in South Asia, and out of this, major proportion comes from India. But still, these numbers don't assure improvement in socio-economic status of the people of the country, as vast majority of the workforce gets left behind. They become unemployed, hence they have lower income, and so the living standard of the people is poor. ICT has great perspective of improving the lives of the rural population, but unfortunately it has not been able to achieve what it is competent of, as the rural population lacks the skills required in tertiary or the manufacturing sector. It is at a disadvantageous position in the booming era of information and communication technology. Education holds paramount importance in developing country. Educated labor force is capable of contributing more to the national income and GDP, thereby fostering development of the nation as a whole. During post-reform period, numbers of challenges have been faced regarding the need of technical education which could provide more employment opportunities for the people of the country. A number of efforts have been taken in this regard. And one such initiative by the Government of India is the introduction of ICT in education. As internet and technology is becoming more accessible and reliable source of knowledge, introduction of ICT in education was strongly felt. Aim of the ICT is to make students able to learn easily and effectively through computer aided programs. The idea is to reduce the gap which exists among different socio-economic sections because of lack of good educational opportunities. Introduction of ICT is becoming helpful for the students, teachers, along with school administrators. For students, it is an easy and an effective way of understanding subject areas. They can have access to all the subject matter that is available on the internet. Students can study at their own pace. They can learn the subject matter without traveling. And most of the time, students don't even have to pay for learning the subject material. Whereas teachers use ICT enabled tools to teach subject matters to subject in an easy and an interactive way so that it becomes easy for the student to have clear understanding of the subject material. For practicing teachers, also, this is very beneficial as they themselves gain better understanding of the course material that is available online for all. Apart from the teaching benefits that teachers get, teachers can also use ICT for maintaining records and data related to attendance, grades, syllabus, and assignments. ICT will strengthen monitoring, management, and evaluation in education. To induce enthusiasm among the teachers for the usage of ICT enabled services in teaching, government is giving awards for using innovative ways in teaching learning process. The National Award for Teachers using ICT for innovation in education would be given on Teachers' Day. Some of the problems associated with the introduction of ICT in education are that ICT enabled services requires high setup cost, software and hardware cost, maintenance cost. Regularity is another problem associated. With online learning courses, students lose interest as nobody in physical form is teaching them, and so they do not have motivation. Also, students become very reliant on ICT and less stress is laid on reading subject matter from books. Last but not the least, education imparted through ICT cannot be tailor made according to the understanding of the students, and not every student might find ICT an interesting and innovative medium of learning. ICT also makes book, charts, posters, videos, PowerPoint presentations, research articles, publications available online for all the students. It can act as a powerful tool of bridging the gap between have and have nots of the good quality education. With ICT, all the reading materials is available for all the students. Apart from this, there is a need for development of interactive devices, software tools, and applications which would further help in enhancing creative, analytical, and decision making skills of the students. ICT enabled teaching will prove very beneficial for the future of the nation. In the era where everything is driven by technology, students will find it easier to find employment and they will be able to contribute more to nation building through their innovative ideas. Information and communication technology has the potential to change the functioning and the governing of society. The link between the two would be established by the term e governance. To analyze the impact of ICT on governance, let us first understand what e governance is. E governance is defined as the delivery of government services to the people through information and communication technology. With the help of ICT, services to the people will be rendered in an efficient, convenient, and transparent manner. E governance brings benefits for government, citizens of the country, and also to business groups. E governance is a two-way communication wherein the use of technology will bring benefits for both the governing body and the one who will be governed. Government of India is aware of the potentials that lie behind e-governance and that can be validated by the 11th report of Second Administrative Reforms Commission, which has the title Promoting E-Governance: The Smart Way Forward. Government of India runs an initiative named the National E-Governance Plan (NEGP), in which they make at government services available to the people through the electronic mode. NEGP website quotes make all government services accessible to the common man in his locality through common service delivery outlets and ensure efficiency, transparency, and reliability of such services at affordable cost to realize the basic needs of the common man. Through the plan, government aims to make reach of public services closer to citizens at the grassroots level. Large sums of resources have been invested in e-governance. It therefore becomes essential that services are delivered in a timely and an efficient manner. Some of the initiatives undertaken by government are Digital Locker, Bhumi, Gyan Doot Program, Friends Project, Twins Lokwani, Immigration, Visa and Foreigners Registration, UIDAI, eKranti, Digital Cloud, eCourts, Aadhaar, eKYC, Mobile Seva, MyGov, DataGov, eTal, eOffice, eSanjeevani, MeSeva and Sanyog. E-governance brings benefits to citizens, employees, and also to government. Transparency, timely delivery of services, check on corruption, reduction in administrative cost, better feedback, and grievances redressal are some of the benefits that e-governance offers. Offices can be created online, saving administrative cost of the government. The sole purpose of e governance is to deliver services to the citizens in a timely and an efficient way so that the relation between government and citizens gets nourished. Difficulties that government face with disseminating services through ICT is that majority of the population is illiterate. Most of them don't have access to internet. There are huge gaps that have to be filled. It is very difficult to provide services to people who lack computer skills. Studies indicate that delivering services through ICT highlight the disparities that exist in the society and do not always act as a motivating factor. ICT in governance may even worsen the situation. Some other difficulties that exist in Indian society are lack of good infrastructure facilities, language problems, lack of capacity building, existence of imperfect and improper information, lack of computer facilities, lack of internet facilities, and lack of good telephone connectivity and electricity connection. In an effort to unite the society through technology, the society at times gets divided because of technology. A report of the World Economic Forum 2002 concluded that India has the widest digital divide. Another major drawback in Indian case is lack of accountability. Only launching of services would not give any benefit unless they ensure accountability. There must be a proper mechanism that addresses the complaints and queries of the citizens. Suggestions of the citizens must be incorporated to learn and move ahead from past initiatives. It is very good move by the government as in the age of digitalization, e-governance is indispensable for the growth of the economy. Like any other flagship program of the government, e-governance will overcome all the hurdles and shortcomings and prove advantageous for the society. In this section, we will look into the relation between ICT sector and the socio-economic impact it has on the people of India, which is measured through poverty line. Over the past few years, India's information and communication technology is the fastest growing sector, and India is the world's leading exporter of software services. But all this will be advantageous only if it leads to improvement in the socio-economic conditions of the country. It is often argued that because of the wide digital divide that exists in Indian case, majority of the rural population is left behind. People with low educational levels, people who lack computer skills are left behind. In Indian economy, primary sector generates 51.2% of the total employment and contributes only 15% of GDP, whereas services sector, which is called the engine of growth, generates 26.7% employment and contributes to 59% of GDP. Although the share of GDP is high from the services sector, but in India, more than 50% of the people are engaged in primary services. The focus now is shifting more towards the services sector and move towards services sector gives employment to only few skilled labor force. Growing digital divide widens the huge gaps in income levels and living standards of the people. There is a huge imbalance in the job market. Indian economy has moved from primary sector to services sector, giving less time for the rural people to adapt and learn new skills. Uneducated and unskilled suffers the most. ICT has increased the income levels and living standards of a few. Benefits of ICT are reaped by wealthier and skilled urban customers. This has resulted in higher income inequality. National GDP has increased, but not welfare and income of the majority of population. Ghost 2012 says that while focusing on growing skilled labor force, India has excluded the unskilled labor intensive industries. New industries from new places points out that both India and China have huge population and both are moving towards ICT. The difference between the two lie in the fact that China's focus is on hardware production, and so large amount of unskilled laborers are required, while India's focus is on software industry, so more of skilled intelligent people are required. This is one of the reasons why, because of the ICT, income levels of only few sections are rising while major sections are still poverty stricken. By now, India's ICT growth has not benefited rural India, although it has been beneficial for the upper and middle class. Efforts are being made in this direction so that ICT brings benefits to all sections of the society. There is strong potential that ICT will benefit the poor, but it has not been achieved so far. If the information and communication services are dispersed into the rural grassroots levels, then rural poverty could decrease. Digital revolution has changed the face of the Indian society. It has accelerated the pace and scope of employment and productivity. Computerization, automation has changed the functioning of the economies. Services are getting replaced by electronic services. ICT has taken its grip over market and society. All sections of the society are directly or indirectly linked with ICT. The impact has been both good and bad. Mainly, the skilled, educated labor force have benefited from the change, while vast majority of rural population, which is still unskilled and uneducated, lag behind. Digital revolution has changed the face of the Indian society. It has accelerated the pace and scope of employment and productivity. Computerization, automation has changed the functioning of the economies. Services are getting replaced by electronic services. ICT has taken its grip over market and society. All sections of the society are directly or indirectly linked with ICT. The impact has been both good and bad. Mainly, the skilled, educated labor force have benefited from the change, while vast majority of rural population, which is still unskilled and uneducated, lag behind. ICT is defined as all devices, tools, contents, resources, forums, and services, digital and those that can be converted into or delivered through digital forms, which can be deployed for realizing the goals of teaching, learning, enhancing access to and reach of resources, building of capacities, as well as management of the educational system. For the attainment all-round development of the economy, efforts are being made to extend ICT to the rural segment of the population. Aim of the ICT in education is to make students able to learn easily and effectively with the help of computer-aided programs. National e-governance plan codes make all government services accessible to the common man in his locality through common service delivery outlets and ensure efficiency, transparency and reliability of such services at affordable cost to realize the basic needs of the common man. India's ICT growth has not benefited rural India because people lack computer and educational skills, although ICT has been beneficial for the upper and middle class. Efforts are being made to make ICT accessible to all sections of the society.